Marvelous! Hello everybody, Tyrone the God 3 here, and welcome to Pokemon X and Y Anime Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing episode 80. This episode's titled Braixen and Pancham, an interesting fire performance. And this episode is full of hype and awesomeness, and I gotta say, I really found myself just engaged in this performance stuff. Like, I didn't think I'd be that engaged considering what I already knew about the episode beforehand, but this episode's full of hype. It's full of like great moments, not just from Serena or the very popular Miette, but just full of a lot of great stuff. So without further ado, let's get this plot summary started. The episode begins with Serena looking off into the sunrise because the day's about to start. It's time for her to finally enter that contest that she's supposed to enter, the Poke Showcase. And when that all starts, she basically tells her mom once she makes it to the Poke Showcase starting area, she tells her mom that she's using a different dress this time round instead of the dress that she gave her, because the dress that she has now is the one that she was given to her from Valerie. So she's going to go ahead and use that dress. And it's a very similar running gag to when the first, I want to say the first episode, when she was choosing which hat to wear. So it's like, oh, well, mom chose this, so I got to choose the opposite. So I thought that was a pretty funny gag. That was a pretty nice gag going on. And then once that all took place, we got introduced to Miette again. Stop that. We're done with that. Anyway, when Miette shows up, she sees Serena. Serena ends up blushing out of embarrassment because Miette's back in the fray. And Miette notices that Serena has cut her hair, and she asks, hey, why is the hair cut? Did Ash reject you or something? Because apparently haircuts in Japan means a broken heart. Because Jessie did a similar, gag with this. So once everybody doesn't really hear it. Bonnie overhears it and has like a smug look because she kind of already knows about Serena's crush on Ash. She's just been keeping it to herself this whole time. Ash and Clement are completely oblivious, but she knows. Bonnie knows. Anyway, once that's all said, they ask, is Mia going to enter the Poke Showcase? And she says that she is, because this particular showcase will be testing their skills at Poke Puff making. So once that's all said and done, Team Rocket goes into the fray, and they're going to enter as well. And wow, Jessie actually looks good. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta say, this is probably the best Jessie's ever looked before. I really like this design change of Jessie. She should just enter every contest like this. Anyway, once that's all said, they all get said note and get ready to perform, and they learn which key that they're going to be winning in this competition. Everybody's watching the contest. Her mother, Shauna, Tirino, Trevor, like just a lot of people. They're all just tuning in, watching the contest. Even Professor Sycamore and Aria. So they're all checking out the contest, and Serena's ready, as well as Jessie, Miette, and several others. And once they learn that the first contest is about cooking, they get 3 Pokemon to serve as judges, but as well as 3 people. Grace shows to be there as well. Bonnie tries to get Grace's attention so that she can do the marriage gag with her, but Clement ends up grabbing her in time, using his regular hand this time, not his Apomon. So anyway, when things start off, the first one to go up to start the cooking is Miette. Miette uses her Slurpuff in order to sense out which ingredients are the best using Slurpuff's sensitive nose. This allows her to win basically her round with no problems. Next up is Jessie and her round. Meowth winds up using his ability to talk to Pokemon and people to talk to the Pokemon and ask which flavors are the best flavors to make Pokepuffs. So once Meowth gathers all that information, he relays that information to Jessie, which allows her to win hers. Up next is Serena in her round. Serena winds up using secret ingredients that she makes with her regular Pokepuffs that she obtained while making Pokepuffs for her and her friends in a flashback that takes place in off-screen land. So she uses that secret ingredient, and the Pokemon wind up liking it, so it allows her to win her Pokepuff round, which means that these three and another, and two others, I think, are allowed to go into the performance appeal round. So once that all takes place and ends up starting, the next ones to go up are, well, yeah, the next ones to go up are Jessie in the performance round. And Jessie actually does really well. Yeah, she's got like a whole bit where Meowth and Wobbuffet uh jump off of each other and bounce in the air, and then Meowth makes this cool little like giant heart statue out of tomato berries. And yeah, Jessie did really good in this competition. I'm impressed. Anyway, when Jessie's done with her round, yeah, Jessie winds up getting done with her round. And then after that, Mia goes up. However, when Jessie's in the green room walking back, she ends up knocking Serena over because, that's Jessie. She's just a diva. And if you're in her way, then you're going to get knocked over. Because of this, Serena's dress that she had from Valerie ends up getting torn. Once it ends up getting torn, Serena starts flashing back to what happened in the first Poke Showcase, and she starts to give up hope. However, she starts to use this to her advantage. While the others are going off to perform, Serena goes ahead and improvises along with Pancham, and they end up cutting up the dress and making it shorter to not only to get rid of the tear, but also to make new boots out of the dress using the dress's pieces. So when that ends up happening, it's finally Serena's turn to come out. And when Serena comes out to do her performance, she actually does really well. Like, at first I was kind of bored by it. I was like, okay, this doesn't look any different than a lot of her other performances. But then she ends up breaks in, and Pancham actually do a really cool job. Seeing Pancham do all these cool breakdancing moves while Breaksin does these cool little flips and turns on fire in different areas. And Serena does this cool little dance along with Breaksin while Pancham break dances off of these like little areas, and it's Breaksin ends up using these cool little jumps off of the stone edges, and when it finally is over, it just is a really cool performance. Breaksin ends up using Flamethrower, and Pancham ends up using Dark Pulse, and it combines to make this cool little like fireworks show. So I gotta say, this was a really good performance on Serena's part. So, with that being said, the judging round goes off, and everybody turns on their little lights in order to vote on which one they think is the best. And I gotta say, everybody's voting and voting and voting, and Serena closes her eyes hoping everything will be alright and that she gets the right amount of votes. Not only does she get the right amount of votes, her votes go beyond everybody else's, and it's clearly noticeable this time, whether it's not even close. Like, Serena doesn't just win, she crushes the competition. Like, look at the scoreboard. She destroys everybody else. I mean, straight up destroys. So with that said, everybody cheers her on. Her mom, Shauna, Trevor, Tirino, Aria, Sycamore. So like, cheer was awesome. He was all like, marvelous. And then he tried to like swan dive into the his female assistants, but they end up moving out the way, so he ends up falling over. I thought that was pretty funny. And then so yeah, Serena didn't just win, she beat the other girls' asses. Like, she crushes that competition. So yeah, with that said, Serena winds up getting her key. And I gotta say, after 80 episodes, she's finally accomplished a thing where she gets like a cool background. And I'm not talking about just catching Pancham. I mean like doing an actual accomplishment that will stay with her for a while. Like, yeah, this is her first major accomplishment. It took 80 episodes to get here, but I gotta say, I was probably the most satisfied that I've ever been in this whole series after seeing Serena, like, do this cool little pose with this nice background, and then jumping up to say that she got the key. Like, she finally has an I got the moment. And what I mean by this is, you know how Ash is like, I got thee, and then he'll hold up whatever badge he's got. But I'm used to Ash doing that. Like, he's been doing it for years. But we finally get to see Serena do an I got the moment. And it's a really wonderful and really great moment. She ends up beating Miette. She beats Jessie. She beats the other two performers. And it's just a really nice moment. I gotta say, I was really amped. I had no doubt in my mind that Serena would win, but this was a really nice moment to finally see her like accomplish something through all the BS that she's been going through just to get here. Through her not knowing what her goal was, through her going through straight up depression when things didn't work out the first time, the haircut, her meeting Arya, evolving Finnegan into Breakton, like all of the BS she's been going through is finally good to see her win a thing. So with that said, and then they played Dory Dory in order to compensate that moment. Like this was really good for her. I really appreciate the struggle she's been going through just to get this far. So her winning this was literally one of the most triumphant moments in Pokemon X and Y to me. So yeah, like with that all said, she also states that she's gonna go ahead and apologize to Valerie for the design change that she made to the outfit because, you know, that's just common respect. After all of that said and done, Miette actually congratulates Serena for her victory. And because she does that, she also messes with her because Ash is like, wow, you looked great out there. And then Miette mocks her and is like, wow, Ash, you looked great. Wait, wow, Serena, you looked great out there, just messing with Serena's head after she won. But Miette basically claims that, hey, we're rivals now and I'm not going to lose out to you. So Miette's off and everybody leaves off and Serena holds her key triumphantly in her hands and the episode ends. Now, a lot of how I feel will basically, I think has been said in the More Shipping video. I'll leave a link to the description about that me, KG, Dean, and Chornick did, all four of us together. But overall, this episode's really great. I'm finally glad to see that Serena's getting somewhere now. Like, to see where she's come from and to see where she is now, it's taken a long damn time. But it's really good to see how far she's gotten, and I'm really glad that she's come this far. It's a start, though. She still has to get 2 more keys, if I'm not mistaken, in order to enter the main competition. But I'm really proud of Serena. Like, this is a moment I really like. Now, this also leads to a question that I might make in a later video, but it's like, the pacing has taken 80 episodes to get this far. By this point, I think May already has like maybe 2, maybe 3 contest ribbons at this point, compared to Serena's like 1 key. So I gotta ask, do you like that it takes longer for a character to develop in order to get to this moment? Or do you think a character should take about a little time to get to this moment and then start achieving things and then moving on at a quicker pace? Do you think that a longer pace is better for a character or do you think shorter? Because I gotta say, May and Serena have both been my favorite female characters out of the entire series, and they both are very similar to that fact that they didn't have a goal until now. But May's resolution for a goal was done a lot quicker than Serena's. But I feel a little bit more for Serena's just of how they presented it. Like with the whole depression arc, the cutting hair, the her having a small little moment with her idol Arya, and then and then Miette as a rival, and then talking with Shauna to get interested in Pokemon contests, like everything leading up to this moment. I gotta say, and then even the thing with her mother, like, I gotta say more things were taking place here. Like, May had the same trials and tribulations when deciding to become a Pokemon performer or a Pokemon coordinator, but I gotta say, like, the moments that she had were much faster than Serena's and were usually lightly tapped on. Like, I think she told her parents that she was into contests, but nothing came out of it. While here, a whole episode came out of it. She had a race against her mother, and I'm sorry, I messed up. Grace is is her mother. Gina, or whatever, Gina is the cook. Anyway, yeah, so development moments took a lot longer for Serena, but they had episodes focused on them, where May was all like, okay, I'm going to do this, and it was slightly focused over for like half the episode, and then the other half was like Ash preparing for gym battles or whatever. So with that said, what do you think in the comments? Just think, what do you think? Faster development with the better faster development or slower development with more focused episodes. It's up to you. The next episode we will be reviewing is Ash Leapt Through Time, Raw Tom's Wish, episode 81. So I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the Guy 3 out. Have an awesome day.